I want what's best for Shedeur Sanders, everybody. I want him to be great. I want to stop looking for quarterbacks.
That'd be nice.
And yes, I say this knowing that I really don't. I got to just come out and admit this. I'm willing to give Dylan Gabriel a chance, but I really don't think he's going to be great. I think that there's something there with Shedeur Sanders. He goes from first round to fifth round. There's got to be some talent in there somewhere. It's got to be in there somewhere, but I don't think week one is the right place to harness it. If you still wanted to put Dylan Gabriel up there for the chance to be week one starter, fine, you go right on ahead. It doesn't matter as much to me as Shedeur Sanders, but I think that from what I just said, boy, I thought I actually said the word there.
Which that was from the podcast, the emerging podcast scene, where it gets a little more colorful. You'll say the shortened version of the curse word than just saying bleeping.
Yes.
So you want to hear almost unfiltered Carman.
Every now and then I do it. Well, every now and then there's another person who accidentally says a word and we got to dump them. I want what's best for Shedeur Sanders. I've seen all the videos. I know that we had the hype going on yesterday with the Zapruder film and Mary Kay Cabot's video, that whole thing. I'm excited by him. You got 4 quarterbacks here. Take him off the possibilities to be a week one starter. Don't take him off the roster. But he's got to be otherworldly to be the week one starter for me. And I went into depth on the pod, and I'm going to go into depth here. Before you guys get mad at me and cuss me out, 216-474-0092. We'll have the Barry audio coming up here in a bit. But just hear me out on this. He went from first round. He believed he was going first round. No matter what anybody says, he thought he was going like early. He wanted to go. His own father said his goal was to go before Dion was taken. Dion was taken 5th. He wanted to go in the top 4. He ended up going in the 5th round. He goes to the 5th round. He's got to deal with this entire spring, this entire summer. If he goes out there and he plays week one against the Bengals and the Bengals rip him up, I think you spike his career and spike his confidence before it has a chance to really get off the ground. Because now the doubt's really there. He seems to be a very confident young man. But you can't tell me that the demons of doubt creeping in didn't happen during the draft process. Where now he goes from first round to 5th round. Now he's just a media hype train. There's not actually good. This guy isn't actually good. This guy's selfish. All these other things that they say. And I go from this to what he could be. I think that I'm taking him out of the running for week one starter. Based on all that stuff, he's got to be unbelievably good, undeniably
well,
good.
If he was starting week one, I'd be thrilled because that means he's special, and they think he is special.
What?
Because if
the Browns think he's special, you trust the Browns all of a sudden.
Well, at that point,
that's funny.
Well, think about it. They've committed to all these other guys more than they've committed to him. So for him to leapfrog all of those guys, that would be incredible. That means that he has surged ahead of Kenny Pickett, a guy they traded a draft pick for. That means they surged ahead of Joe Flacco, the guy that they wanted to take off the streets to help usher in, this season. That means that he's ahead of the guy that drafted 2 rounds ahead of him. So that to me would mean undeniable talent. They're looking at him every day going, holy cow, every minute we don't have this guy as our signal caller under center, we are screwing ourselves.
You're the guy who doesn't trust him. You trust him less than I do. The front office, the talent evaluation.
Yeah, but you agree there are guys that are undeniable, right?
Yeah, there are guys that are certainly there are guys that are undeniable.
But it's one of those things where if the players are coming off the field every day practice going, holy cow, rallying around that guy who's 4th on the depth chart right now, like that would be undeniable. Like if I heard it from every which direction, you already heard like Kimberly Martin said, I'm hearing from people in Cleveland. All right, that's one. But if we start
LaShawn McCoy, that's 2.
Did he say he was hearing something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that means that if it starts to be in droves and everybody kind of has the same message, now we're talking. I'm not going to do anything to put a stop sign for that type of excitement.
I am. I want this thing to percolate with him. I want him to make sure that he is ready to go. And if he ended up starting, I would be wondering, why the hell did you fast track this guy? I will not be excited if they were to announce him as a week one starter. I'll be excited after the fact if he goes out and throws 3 touchdowns and they win and I look like an idiot. I would love to look like an idiot. but I would be very concerned for him, and I would think it's almost a disastrous move if they were to make him the week 1 starter. He's a 5th-round guy, which I know I want to try to remove the labels.
You got to pick. Hold on. You got to tell me once and for all, is he a 1st-round guy or a 5th-round guy? Because you said
he's taken in the 5th round.
Hold on.
He's taken in the 5th round, but he thought he was a 1st-round talent.
Back me up here, Owen. Has Ken Carman not said that we got to stop using that label? All of a sudden, to fix your argument, you went back to the 5th round.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. But you decided you all of a sudden trust Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry to evaluate quarterbacks to fit your argument. So don't tell me about using things to fit arguments, slippery wizard.
I don't trust these guys. I already told you that.
So why would you feel good if he made him the week 1 starter?
But I told you, if he leapfrogs, Joe Flacco was on this team when they went to the playoffs the other year. If he leapfrogs the guys that they gave up assets for, that they took ahead of him, then it becomes like, all right, this guy's undeniable. Why would you put a stop sign up for that?
Said you don't trust them.
I don't. But that's going to be the same.
So you shouldn't feel good.
But okay, I'm telling you that he's probably, listen, he's 4th in line, and they're supposed to be a bad football team. Like, I'm not expecting any of this. I'm telling you in this hypothetical, if he's leapfrogging 3 other guys, not 1, not 2, but 3 other guys, then yeah, that's gonna draw some excitement from me. Should I not get excited about that? Your Ken Carman is telling me I shouldn't be excited about that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Who is evaluating and you don't trust the people? So how many people
he's signing off on my potential excitement? Finally.
He is He's not leapfrogging Jalen Hurts and whoever's with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's leapfrogging quarterbacks with the Browns. That's who he's leapfrogging. No, you just said you wouldn't be excited, or could you be excited?
You wouldn't be excited.
I'd certainly be curious. And
stop it. Ken Carman would not be. You're lying. You're just flat out lying to people in Cleveland.
No, I'm not.
That Ken Carman is saying, if we find out week 1, who they play in week 1, they go into week 1, Cincinnati, and he is number 1 on the depth chart. QB1, Shedeur Sanders, with all the hype. 60 Minutes will be back in town. Ken Carman's going to say, I'm really mad. This is a mistake. What a disaster. No, you wouldn't. This is the biggest lie he's ever told. Next to the fact that he would turn down 3 times the salary going to Milwaukee. This is the biggest lie I've ever heard Ken Carman say. And I've heard a lot of them. But this is the biggest.
All right, 8 o'clock, I got to bring up the stupidest decision I've ever seen. And I was texted by a former NFLer who said, quote, what a bleeping idiot. That, because of the money thing that you just said, I'm sorry. Because I can't believe what I read yesterday. He's a teller of tall tales. I don't believe him whatsoever. There's got to be something in the back. Okay. Going back to what you said. On my dog that won't come out from underneath the bed. On my children. On my wife. On my own life. If they were to name Shedeur Sanders week 1 starter, I will be on this air and I will fart on it. I will tell you that I believe that this is a mistake. I will tell you that I believe that I wouldn't put him out there. I believe that this is reckless. And I will tell you that I fear that they have spiked his career before it even gets a chance to start. That's what I will say. Record it. Joey's in the back. He'll record it. I want him to have a chance to succeed. And it's too much too soon. He seems like a good young kid. I hate the crap that people are laying on him. I want what's best for Shedeur Sanders, and starting him week 1 at home against the Cincinnati Bengals is reckless.
So
it's
Shedeur
a
Sanders
reckless thing to do.
So of course, in my scenario, Shedeur Sanders looks amazing in the preseason games, and the Eagles are coming off the practice field in their dual practice. Right, they're coming off the practice field saying that dude's got it, and Ken's gonna say, "Shh, wet blanket alert." Blanket alert.
Yep.
Whatever you do, he can't start.
I want what's best for him.
Like, would you have done that with Jaden Daniels last year in Washington? Of course you wouldn't. That's so silly.
Overall.
You said you thought he should go number 2 overall.
He was number 2 overall.
You said Shedeur should go number 2. But now today, for the sake of this argument, he's a 5th-round pick.
And
he's Brock Purdy all of a sudden.
Because they're supposed to be the ones.
Get a handle over your arguments.
They're supposed to be the ones that know better than me. He went number 2 overall. There's proof there with Jaden Daniels. This guy fell to the 5th round, and they took a guy before him that doesn't have any of the intangibles that a lot of people think would be an NFL quarterback. So, if they took a guy who people were going, what?
I just don't believe anything I'm hearing right now.
You're trying to convince me that the Friday before game 1,
oh my God,
they go, Shedeur is the starting quarterback this week, and you're going to go, guys, I just don't know how we get up for this game.
Biggest mistake in Browns history. Andrew Barry should be fired. This is negligence.
No, I don't call for people being fired. We've been through that a million times.
I'm going to hit the music, and you're going to go, the music will be playing. You'll go, oh, and turn that off. I don't want to hear this right
No,
now.
I'll always want to hear Michael Stanley. That doesn't matter.
For Shedeur Sanders' safety, health, and future.
Somebody's got to be the responsible adult. Making him the week 1 starter after all this happening would be the equivalent of me giving Axel the keys to drive me home drunk.
You don't think a coaching staff and a front office who are on the hottest of hot seats.
That sounds desperate. So they should do it because they're desperate. They're going to lose their jobs.
No, they're doing.
Then they shouldn't have signed Deshaun Watson.
Week 1 is the guy that they think is going to give them the best chance to keep their career going in Cleveland.
Especially because
they think that guy is Shedeur Sanders, I am 100% behind them.
Especially because, Owen, there's legitimately no rush. There's no rush to start him.
You are now against Kevin Stefanski.
I can't believe you, as a father of 6 children. I was at the graduation party of 2 of them on Sunday. It was a lovely affair.
Nice
you and your wife should be very proud of what you provided there.
It was weird. I saw you in front of the house before the party, though, Ken. You were going, congratulations on the day of your daughter's graduation.
He was rehearsing.
Yeah, I was. I couldn't say she was a masculine child because I already know. But anyway, I'm saying I know that they're daughters. That might have sounded weird. Anyway.
Let's get back to the
You are a responsible father of 6.
Yes.
How on earth, as the responsible adult in this room, how on earth can you say that you side with this? That's crazy. That's crazy. And yeah, I know I'm an excitable boy, and I've said a lot of reckless things in my life. This is me trying to be responsible and clear-headed. To put the guy who fell, I ain't gonna say the magic word or I'll freak out again. To put a guy who fell that far and to have him leapfrog 3 guys in some QB gauntlet to week 1 tells me that you're desperate as a franchise. That is clear insanity, and I cannot back that up. Now, I would hope for his own good, my own good, Browns fans' own good, because, again, I cannot state this enough to be clear. I am a Shedeur Sanders fan.
But
that is
you just
true.
don't want to see him on the football field.
I just don't really want to watch him play football.
Are you Ken Carman, the guy, a responsible sports talk show host in this city who is supposed to be the voice of the fans, going to go, I know that they said that he's the starter. I just don't trust it. I don't like it. It is not good for the young man's future.
Sometimes I have to tell everybody what they need to hear instead of what they want to hear. And what they need to hear is that this is a fine young man who should not be in the running to start week 1. You want to go ahead and throw your 3rd-round guy out there? Be my guest. I don't know. If you want to put,
do that.
If you want to put King Gloves out there,
let's put Dylan Gabriel. I feel much better with Dylan Gabriel out there.
No, I don't.
Like, why would we even? Why would we even watch? Why would we even watch the opener? Shedeur was clearly better, but we're sitting him for Dylan Gabriel.
I don't even know that you could see him on the football field.
I think
he's too far if you're in the 500 section.
Let me say this. I will sit with the 537 boys and tell them to keep it down before the game.
Best binoculars. You better have NASA's binoculars for that one.
They can see the game just fine in the 537.
But can they see Dylan Gabriel?
10 of the 11 starters, of course.
Harold Fannin, I can see easily.
I believe that there is
jumping over everyone.
Why is it always 2-on-1? And I'm the one being reasonable here. I'm the one telling the truth and being responsible, not you. 216-474-0092. I'll get to you. The hell with this. For his own good, I think that Shedeur Sanders has more potential than Dylan Gabriel. You want to throw Dylan Gabriel out there? Fine. I wouldn't be comfortable with either. The one I'm most comfortable with is Joe Flacco. And everybody's saying that he's going to get traded before the season starts.